Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo Saturday edition. I'm your host and keeper of the Harry channel, and with me tonight are Minions 2, Serenity Star 13,
Hello.
and SkepTok.
Hi, everybody.
So Serenity, it is raining here, which is lovely. My apricots have gone from blossoms to tiny baby apricots. So if it wants to rain, that's fine by me. That's just that much longer that I can go without watering the lawn. I'm not against this, but I went, I have an older car, and I was afraid that something was wrong with my car because one thing that happens with older cars is just random liquids just start dripping out of the bottom of them at certain points. And I was looking at this puddle. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And I thought I was going to need to just replace the radiator and all the hoses and all that sort of nonsense. Turned out it was just there's a leak in the reservoir that holds the windshield washing fluid.
That's what always happens. They crack. Yeah.
So
think it's oil.
I figure at a certain point it will leak enough that it will no longer be an issue and I can just ignore it. And I can focus on things that matter more. Yeah, my life is super exciting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. What was it that Assassin said last week in chat? He said that I was where fun goes to die, and he's not wrong.
You're just a very pragmatic individual, and those who do not understand how that works or cannot conceive of how that works don't understand that doesn't necessarily mean fun dies. I adore Assassin. We've interacted for more than almost a decade at this point. I adore him. But at the same time, he can be a little Debbie Downer sometimes.
Yeah, well.
Bless you, Assassin. Bless you.
I do have I can crack myself up and just start laughing like an idiot for 10 minutes straight over almost nothing. So I think I have a pretty good sense of humor, but in terms of like enjoying the things that other people enjoy, I probably not so much.
Well, you're a very exacting individual, so that means that there needs to be a, not necessarily a rhyme or a reason, but at least a framework for how you do it. It's the reason why you like baking so much, is you like a framework. That doesn't mean there can't be fun. It's just you like the framework. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Skep's the same way. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I bought 50 pounds of flour today. And
there you go.
There you go.
And
it's my favorite flour too, because I think it's always 11.2% protein, and the fact that I know that is probably another reason why I don't get invited to parties very much. Well, let me tell you about my flour and its very specific protein content.
Well, I mean, you need a very specific protein content.
You do need a very specific protein content. Do you, I can't figure out, do you bake at all?
Sometimes, if the mood takes me.
Yeah. Like cakes? Because I think you were talking about like baking a cake for a friend or something, or was I just hallucinating?
No, you were sleepy.
Okay.
So I can understand why you would think you were hallucinating.
Okay.
But yeah, I usually do, but I do the country thing, which is I don't do involved cakes unless I have to.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I do are usually some form of either a bundt cake or like a meringue / cheesecake. Because those are easy and fast. Can I make the more fancy ones? Abso-fucking-lutely I can. I like my icebox pies. Those are usually really good. But I like cookie. I will take a cookie over a pie, over a cake any day. I will take pies and cookies over cake.
What's your favorite kind? What's your favorite cookie?
I'm so with you.
What's my favorite what, Harry?
What's your favorite kind of cookie?
Oh goddamn.
All of
my great grandmother used to make really, really good coffee sugar cookies. I've gotten close to getting the recipe right a few times. But they're kind of hard to replicate. Those are really good. But if it's actual just basic bitch normal cookie, I do this a lot. I get judged by chat. I will make the chocolate chip cookie base, but I won't put chocolate chips in it.
It's a good cookie.
Because I like the base of the chocolate chip cookie. And no, it's not a sugar cookie. And anyone who says, there's just a sugar cookie, I will slap you.
No, a sugar cookie's different.
Yeah, it's very different. Um, I will also make Kringles because Kringles are called being a lazy butt
Mm-hmm.
because you just take the because I pie crust does not keep in the fridge like homemade pie crust does not keep in the fridge or the freezer well enough for me to have the capacity to do it by hand. So I just buy the store bought stuff because it keeps longer. Um, but Pringles are not the same. But I will do like kind of but I'll basically a cookie wrap, those kind of stuffs.
Mm-hmm.
I make potato candy. Potato candy's fun. Potato candy's good. Um, it's just cakes because of how involved they are sometimes. Because if I'm making a cake, I do the layered ones.
Mm-hmm.
So that's much more involved, and then I have to make the icing. You know that. That's usually the reason why I default to either cinnamon roll slash cookie style thing or bundt cake. Because most people with bundt cakes are happy if they're not frosted.
Well, I made a bundt cake just like a week ago. And it was it had like a heavy lemon drizzle over it. It was a very puckery lemon bundt cake, and it was absolutely delicious and easy. I think that there are a number of things in life. Oh, hold on. Before I expound on this stupid thought that I just had, Skep, what's your favorite kind of cookie?
My favorite kind of cookie is oatmeal raisin with a little bit of cinnamon in it. And that's just, and I like that cookie so much. There's not even a second place with me.
Are you looking at my notes? Because that's actually my answer too.
I think that might be a generational thing because my mom's favorite cookie is oatmeal.
Yeah,
I like them too. I like them too. Don't get me wrong. If they are a good oatmeal raisin cookie, I like.
Do you like the graphic I've got up?
The doll names, yes.
Doll names. Yeah. I just sort of found that and said, yeah, it seems accurate.
Where's Frank?
I do feel like there's a class of things, of activities that we like to, as humans, convince ourselves are harder than they actually are. For instance, I don't like plumbing. Yeah. Any moron can work with PVC pipe once they get over the anxiety and they just like buy the right chemicals and just learn how to do it. It's not particularly hard. It's not hard to work with PVC pipe for plumbing. Anybody can do it.
You have to make a few mistakes and stick the wrong joints together, and you have to go back to the hardware store to get more joints. Then you buy 65 that time, but you do it right, and so you give these extra joints hanging around in your shop afterwards. I do this.
But baking a cake is very much the same sort of way. I mean, you can make it complicated. You can make it really complicated, but the basic thing of making a cake is really not that hard. It's just make sure your ingredients are at room temperature, understand that liquid and solid don't necessarily mean the things that you think they mean, and don't skimp on the amount of time that you spend creaming the butter and the sugar. If you can just do those things, it's actually pretty easy to make cake. And you know what? If you want people to like you, giving them cookies and cake is a really good way to win people over. I have found.
I am not a big fan of really super sweet icings or frostings. I mean, not icings. I don't like them. And that's always my problem with cupcakes, even homemade cupcakes and cakes sometimes, depending, is that I don't like the super sweet stuff. Like if I get cupcakes, like if I go to a birthday party or something and there's cupcakes, I will take about 2/3 of the icing off the top of the cupcake and eat it that way. Because I don't like, I'm not a super sweet person, which I think is part of the reason why I like cookies, because cookies to me are not super sweet unless you're doing some crazy crap to them. But it's just, with how I grew up, bundt cakes are the easiest cakes to make. Because the only bitch of it is you have to make sure you got to grease and flour the inside of that frickin' bundt pan. Nobody's business.
Well, you said something last week after the show, which I thought was rather interesting. You said something that you said men really seem to like lemon and the taste of lemon
and blueberry
in their desserts. And I had this actually for functional, but he's not here, which is okay. He's like super busy in the best possible way with customers and stuff. So, sorry that he's not here, but I was actually going to show this to him. This is the chef reactions guy. And I was thinking about what you said after the show. Sorry?
You're showing dull names again.
Yeah, I know. I have to press the button.
Okay. Sorry.
That's the browser capture window.
Okay.
So I remembered what you said, and then I went back and was thinking, yeah, I think she's actually right. So here's a case in point.
Okay. Oh, that looks good. Lemon, raspberry bar. Could you make the letters smaller by chance? I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a pizza when I first saw it. Like I thought those were a couple dollops of
but lemon is awesome
on top. But clearly such is not the case.
Because you like sugar, but you don't want just sugar.
Lemon blueberry for their go-to flavor combination. I would argue that raspberry is better. Like a cold glass of raspberry lemonade. Fuck my shit.
I like strawberry lemonade.
Holy edits. Requiem for a Dream. But yeah, raspberry lemonade is up there. Okay. Like I like lemon so much you could probably just at the end of a meal just come by with half a lemon and just fucking squeeze it into my mouth like I'm a baby bird waiting for its dessert.
Literally what I do.
Like don't like
literally what I do.
Don't like squeeze it into your own mouth and then spit it into mine like a baby bird. But you know what I'm saying. This is a 10 out of 10. I'm eating the whole thing. Get your own.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and looked at a number of his other videos, and he really likes the lemon things. I know when I was a kid, it was not my favorite thing. But as an adult, where you want the sugar, but you don't want just the sugar, the perfect sort of counterpoint to that is something like lemon.
Yeah.
And
it's like I didn't like lemonade when I was younger. I didn't like lemonade at all. And then I was because I remember I was 14 and my mom I'd tasted lemonade several times before that and didn't like it. And me and my mom were at the mall. I remember this because it was a weird moment. And I asked her if I could try it first. I just wanted to see if I liked it now. And I liked the lemonade. And it was lemonade from a place we'd got it from before. And I had tasted it before and I didn't like it. So I think there's just I think it happens around puberty. I think guys lean more towards citrus than women do. But at the same time, I just think there's something in lemon that like scratches an itch at the back of our Neanderthal brain when we hit like around puberty.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't know what it is. I think it's what does it. Harry, Silver Ravenwing in chat is asking, have you watched the B. Dylan Hollis and his historic baking stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah. His stuff is actually interesting. I mean, he's kind of a weird dude, but he makes it work. Now, some of his recipes are actually terrible. I tried one of the recipes for a thing that he had called starchies. Yeah, no. no. But a lot of his recipes he's a pretty entertaining dude for the most part. I think he does a good job. I'm more of a tasting history with Max Miller kind of person than a B. Dylan Hollis kind of guy. But I think I definitely want to get a copy of his book. Yeah. Isn't he working on a second one?
Who?
B. Dylan Hollis.
He's already done 2.
Okay. Yeah.
He did tasting. It was like tasting history, and then the other one was tasting across America, where he went to different states and kind of like found their not their specific like only thing, but something that was at least a little bit more like keyed into the individual states. Baking across America, that's what it's called. Hey Blizza, all I'm saying, Brussels sprouts, if they're roasted with a little bit of coarse salt and a little bit of olive oil, mwah. Fabulous. I understand you don't want to eat them. You have every right not to eat them. They're still good.
I kind of hated them for the longest time until I had them at a place in Santa Cruz where they basically just roasted the crap out of them and sprinkled them with a bunch of cumin and other things. I'm like, all of the stank is gone. You know, it sort of transforms into like a nice sweetness. But undercooked Brussels sprouts are pretty disgusting. You kind of have to roast the crap out of them. And then they turn into something else, and I like them. But I get why people don't like them.
Well, or with Brussels sprouts, either roast them or they have to be steamed to not to softness, but not to like mush. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And with a little bit of cheese sauce, fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous that way too. I love Brussels sprouts. I've always loved. I was that freak child who always liked Brussels sprouts. Kid.
Yeah.
Baking yesteryear and baking across America. Thank you, Silver Raven Wing. Those were B. Don Halls' books.
Yeah. No, I think he produces pretty good content.
His long form content, I like his long form content better.
I think he also does stuff on photography sometimes.
He does. He's also a
and vintage cars.
Well, he's a graduate of Wisconsin University with a major in jazz piano.
Mm-hmm.
So he also will do that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of like cookbooks and content and stuff, we live in a beautiful time if that's the sort of stuff you're into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Good times. All right. Well, anyway, sorry, I could just keep doing this forever, but we should probably bring Skep into this conversation. So oatmeal raisin cookies, I really love them. And my grandmother used to make them and they were fantastic. And there are other cookies that I've had that are kind of good. You know, they're sort of, I want to say it's like brandy snaps, or like you have like these lacy sort of sweet cookies with like maple cream filling
with
and stuff.
Kind of yeah.
You have one of those and then you feel like something bad's going to happen to your body because it's just way too much sugar. But I could eat a dozen oatmeal raisin cookies without even breaking a sweat.
Yes, my serving size for oatmeal raisin
Is
cookies
all?
is what's it? All of them. Yes,
It's all of them. I mean, it's like food. it's got fiber in it. It's natural. You know, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I really do like those things. They're good.
Me
So
too. This
what
by
is
far my favorite cookie?
What is new and exciting with you? If anything, there doesn't have to be anything new and exciting. I think we've already established that what you enjoy doesn't necessarily have to be exciting.
We had a big discovery. We thought we had a crepe myrtle growing in back. It's coming up, and the leaves were there's so many varieties of crepe myrtles that little varieties in leaves can throw you. So Brenda and I are like, nah, we're not gonna be. This is a crepe myrtle. It's a. What do you? I'll bet Serenity might be able to guess this because she gets this kind of stuff. Serenity, what kind of fruit tree do you think it was? I'll give you that it was a fruit tree. What kind of fruit tree do you think it turned out to be?
And it seems to be growing pretty well in your part of Texas.
Oh, it's coming up like a champ. Coming up like a crepe myrtle.
Is it a triffid?
No.
Plum?
Okay. No, but very close. It's pomegranate.
Pomegranates.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they would pomegranates would be kind of good in that part of the country.
We don't know where this came from. We think one of the grandchildren mischievously was planting pomegranate seeds. That's really what we think happened. We have no other explanation for why a pomegranate tree is popping up here. We absolutely are mystified.
Squirrels?
I
was going to say birds. You got birds coming up from weird parts.
Yeah, no, and we're a major. We're like in a bird highway.
Yeah,
we're in the McKinney, Texas bird highway. If you know anything about the migration patterns, they basically follow I-35 down to the coast, and so yeah, that's very probably, you know, it just doesn't seem possible. Not on our thick St. Augustine lawn. That is so thick with St. Augustine, weeds can't grow in it. We have that lawn. We have finally reached critical mass. You can do that with St. Augustine. So, but that's what happens when you retire. You talk about your grass and so forth instead of talking about all the people who've come to hear us talk tonight. Have you seen chat tonight?
Oh, that's right. There's that your job, your unofficial job. Would you please
Jay Blizz is
do
here.
Yes.
Blake Starr is here. early on, Silver Raven Wing, and I want to make sure that I get everybody. It's great to have all you guys here with us this evening. Chat is very, very active, going back and forth. Anybody who I have not mentioned, say, oh, Green Badger is here. Badger's here, of course. And I expect some of the other regulars will be along. But thank you for coming out. We love to do this, and we love to do it in front of the public. And you are the public, and we love to have you being part of the show, being in chat with us. Appreciate the time that you take to come out and listen to us and be.
I like to think we're all making each other better.
Hope so.
Well, because, you know, two people can have a conversation. There's not a whole lot of error checking, right?
No,
and,
right.
You know, so I'll come up with some idea and I'll go off on one of my little riffs, and then Serenity can you know, basically say, no, wait a second, did you think about this? And it's like, no, God damn it, I didn't. You know, and then chat will sometimes say, oh, did you think about this? It's like, oh, God damn it, I didn't. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but there are definitely times I've come in with a topic or had a position on something and just been completely and unequivocally wrong, or just completely missed the obvious thing. Cause it's like, you know, there's the point and then there's me, and then, you know, right over the top. And I just don't get it.
What a valuable thing to be able to come to something that can actually has the ability to change your mind about something.
Yeah.
That's a huge plus. That's a win.
I don't trust people who can't admit that they're wrong or who can't change their minds. I really have a problem with that kind of nonsense. I have to like somebody a lot to put up with that.
There's none of that in the IT industry, is there, Harry?
You know, I don't think there's as much as there is in some other industries.
Well,
failure modes are more apparent in IT than they are.
That's true.
The feedback loop of stupidity is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, but if you get back over on the sales side, it's a different story.
Yeah, why is this returning Eno worky? You know?
Like, all right, which one of you motherfuckers vibe coded it?
Exactly.
Smack you now, smack.
I actually was using AI this week.
Harry.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't want to be accused of being a Luddite, and I have actually found some things that AI is kind of useful for. So,
excuse me of being a Luddite. Woohoo!
There's well, I mean,
hey, it's really good for cleaning up your code, and if you're old and curly braces look like square brackets, and you know, and it's checking. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to clean up my code. That's all.
For double checking stuff, absolutely.
Well, let me tell you how I used it. How I've used it. So there's this thing I've been trying to sort of work out for a while. I told you there's this format called Markdown, which is a very simple way of writing things and taking notes. And it's a very lightly structured way of saying, like, here's a title, here's a subsection, make this be italic. It's about as light touch as you can get. And you can just, with a regular editor, you can edit things. So a lot of the big note-taking applications that people use where you want to organize your thoughts, they understand Markdown. But what I want to do is when I want to add a graphic to something like a diagram, I don't want to use a editor and then, you know, move little triangles around and make a bunch of pixels and then have them be an external file. I want to just describe what the diagram's supposed to look like and shove it into the Markdown. Now, there's a way to do this using a format called Mermaid. Doesn't matter what the name is. That's just what it's called if anybody wants to look it up. But you can just say, here's a thing. It connects to this other thing. There you go. Magic. Profit. And it will produce a diagram, but you can look at it and sort of understand it. And instead of spending all the time trying to find documentation and stuff, I actually fired up a local AI agent, and I just wanted to find out, well, in Mermaid, how would I do this one specific thing? And I would just say, provide a short example illustrating this feature in a Mermaid diagram. And it would just come back and give me a thing. When I asked it to produce the whole diagram, I spent like 2 hours saying, this is what I want to diagram. It just produced different versions of shit over and over again for 2 solid hours. And it didn't produce anything nearly as nice as what I ultimately made. But as a thing to just sort of augment search engines, like, give me an example of this, where you just want to see like a thing in context, genius. It was actually really useful for that. versus doing searches and then going through hundreds of results to try to find something. It was a really nice kind of augment to a search engine. And I don't mind that. And since I can run it locally instead of having a massively expensive subscription, I like that too. It's getting to the point where you can do a lot of this stuff locally without having to pay for some cloud service. So I literally, for free, I get like this little helper that I can just have, I can give it busy work when I don't want to go look something up. And I'm not like disconnecting my brain. I'm still fully involved in the project. So it's not like it's making me dumber. It's just giving me examples of things if I know what to ask for. And I'm okay with that. I think you would actually like it, Skep.
Yeah, that's an augmentation. I
Yeah.
don't have any problem with that at all.
Well, I actually was trying to read this one press release that's going to be it's on the spreadsheet. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight. And I was looking at this and feeling kind of tired. I'm saying, is this actually saying anything? Because it was so press releasey, it was hard to figure out what the actual meat of the article was because my eyes were glazing over and I was losing the will to live reading it. So I just said, AI, here's a URL, summarize this for me. And, and it came back with a few things, but it also basically told me that it wasn't my imagination, that it's really hard to figure out what they're actually saying. So I don't mind AI. I think you would actually find it to be useful, but I would just spend your time getting ready for a marathon, maybe make a dugout canoe or, like a birch canoe. That would be another good project. Just playing the guitar, like a million other things other than worrying about AI. Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah, but I like AI. I use AI quite a bit. Bounce things off of it.
Mm-hmm. Are you using Grok?
Yeah, using Grok almost exclusively. I used ChatGPT for a while. I'm actually paying for Grok now, and it's pretty impressive what you can do.
Well, you know how we said Macs are stupid? I can't remember who said that. Who was saying that Macs are stupid? Was that Serenity? Or no, it was you. The fact that there's the unified memory between the GPU and the CPU means that these machines are actually really good at doing lightweight AI stuff locally in a way that most PCs can't really approximate unless you spend $20,000. So
or set up your own DMA.
Yeah, no, the Mac is actually great for this sort of stuff because all the memory is accessible to all the good bits.
One big happy family.
Yeah. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Image is a thing, right? As you get older, you don't want people getting the impression that you're just like set in your ways and you're not open to new ideas, because as soon as you get pigeonholed that way, people stop wanting to talk to you about new, interesting things. That's not where you want to be. So you have to be open to stuff like this. And if you're going to tell somebody that something like this is crap, you better be able to explain exactly why you think that.
And it needs to make some sense.
Yeah. Would you like to see Gavin Newsom's crazy wife?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I want to get both of your opinion on this. I think, what is her name? Jennifer Siebel. Anyway, she's kind of nuts. Let's just play this little clip of her talking, and then I want you to think about just her lack of self-awareness while she carries on.
I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blame myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story, was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time, but wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too. So anyway, I share that just because I guess, I quite enjoy spending time with people and being real and unmasking and showing them that it's safe to unmask themselves.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom's wife recalls telling prisoners at San Quentin about running over and killing her sister with a golf cart. Now, she was a little kid, just to be fair, but she sounds
used
like
the word "I" every 6 seconds.
Well, she lost her sister,
Precisely.
but she sounds like everything I hate about Hillary Clinton combined with everything I hate about Kamala Harris in one person.
Yes. I think she's sober. I think that's the only thing I.
Yeah.
I don't think she's drunk. She's not as drunk as Kamala Harris.
Serenity, do you think she's just having trouble with silence and she's just doing that thing that people do because the silence is too much for her, so she's just blabbing and comes off sounding kind of insane?
Well, she's doing that thing that people who are not sure about the room do, which is she just keeps going. And sometimes you have to do the thing where you just kind of stop and go, okay, hold on, I apologize. I need to get my thoughts in the right spot, and like that kind of thing, and do that. I understand what she may have been trying to say, which is some of you did a very stupid thing and you're here because of it. Some of them probably didn't. But equivocating a 6-year-old accidentally running over, or 6 or 7-year-old accidentally running over their sister and killing them with a golf cart is not the same as some of what some of these kids, even in maybe an accident, would have done. But I think because when you think about Gavin, I think she's so used to Gavin and the way he talks to her and they talk to each other that she does that thing that some people do where she just keeps going because she's getting interrupted anyway, and she thinks if she just keeps going, it doesn't, like, nothing's good, like, she'll be okay. If she just gets to the point, everyone will be on her side.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, and that could be conducive from the fact of like because I'm sure her parents, considering she brings a little, because there's a couple because I looked up one of the articles and it was like it drove her to be really good in academics and sports and all this kind of stuff. It's like I'm sure her parents had a massive hand in that. In that they probably, whether directly or indirectly, made her feel guilty for killing her sister. So I think that's also where it comes from. But
I think you're on something.
And that is created. I don't think she's a narcissist. Let me put that out there. I think she has narcissistic tendencies. Because those are two massively different beasts. And if people don't start fucking dividing those two different beasts, I'm going to start hurting people.
Yeah, states and traits are not the same thing.
Yeah. She has narcissistic tendencies that I think have come out of the fact that both self-inflicted mental barriers as well as stuff her parents probably either intentionally or unintentionally pushed on her have caused her to be, which has caused her to be the way she is. Does that mean I like her? No, it doesn't mean I like her. But I understand I understand what she was trying to do. But you're a rich white lady who slept. Wasn't Gavin best friends with her first husband or her boyfriend?
I try not to think about these things too much, but I think you're right.
Who slept?
Go to the visual. Don't go to the visual.
It doesn't hurt that she's an heiress with a metric shit ton of money behind her.
I don't know who that. Well, that was
Siebel. It was a big company back in the day. Skep will recognize the name, and so
it sounds.
She's from that family. She's from like real money.
What family?
Siebel.
Siebel.
Which one?
Siebel.
Siebel.
Yeah.
She's that family?
Yeah, she's that family.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was. It's like real money. Now,
that's the real old money too. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead and finish your thoughts, Serenity. I'm sorry.
Well, that's that. Knowing that she comes from money makes me side eye her sister's death just a smidge.
Well, it is a bougie way to kill your sister. At least they weren't. It wasn't polo ponies.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Sorry.
It's that. How many super rich families do you know don't have 5 or 6 servants, security, and a nanny with their kids when they're that age? So how did that happen if the nanny should have been with them at 6 and 8? Because that's what the news articles say is 6 and 8.
Yeah, unattended
think-
6 and 8 year olds should not be operating golf carts.
They shouldn't have been anywhere fucking near that if the nanny was worth a damn.
Yeah, as an 8-year-old who has driven a golf cart, okay,
Same.
I can tell you that I actually almost hurt my grandfather one time, and it was definitely a teachable moment because I realized, you know, I came very close to breaking both of his legs, being stupid and being 8, and I learned I'm really glad that didn't happen. I'm never going to be that stupid ever again, at least that particular way.
I've driven ATVs when I was 8 years old, and I almost flipped one. That's my thing. But I'm a country kid, and we get left alone.
It's a lot easier to flip an ATV than a golf cart.
Well, especially when you're going nose first down a very steep hill. It's very easy.
ATVs are really dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're country, we don't care. But like, that's the thing. Like, it's... There's usually with the rich, there's always more to the story than what they're talking about. And it's not exactly like children of rich parents aren't exactly known for having massive issues.
Well,
but yeah, she strikes me as someone with narcissistic tendencies, not an actual narcissist, though. Her husband's a narcissist.
She's a good match for him in that regard.
Oh,
they
God,
can prop each other up. Serenity, please continue to keep an eye on the chat for me.
I am.
Actually, when there's a lull, I try to keep an eye on the chat. But when there's only 3 of us, it actually gets harder because what?
There is no lull.
I know. There is no lull. So Skep, I was listening to Miss Siebel's conversation here, and I think what she has is what I could call empathy without awareness.
Yes.
So she's taking her own little story and somehow thinking, well, you know, I bet a bunch of you guys here at San Quentin are in the same position or a similar position as I was. Now, I like the empathy angle because without empathy, redemption is never there. And I'm a big fan of redemption. I think empathy is a great thing to have, but empathy without any kind of common sense, is not a good thing.
I think this is a little worse, maybe.
Yeah.
Than what I think happened here was she said, I need some kind of human interest way to get to these guys. You think there's anything I can do with this story of me killing my sister? And, you know, because it's kind of cool killing a family member, you know, that's going to be interesting to a lot of these guys, and they're kind of edgy and they like that edgy stuff. So I might have an end. And she probably shopped that idea, and some toady told her, yeah, it's a great idea, you know, embellish that and, you know, use that as your entree in there. Nobody coached her on how to tell that story. Nobody told her to tell a story without using the word I in every 6 seconds. 6 seconds. Words I counted the I's. I do. If you ever been a member of the group Toastmasters, you do this stuff instinctively after years of listening to yourself speak and people critique your speaking. She should speak.
She needs some people around her who will tell her the truth.
That's true. That's exactly what she needs. She needs a court fool.
She needs like a friend or friends who aren't interested in her money.
Does the court fool thing.
Yeah, who basically love her enough to tell her the truth.
Exactly. But she needs to have enough character to not blow off people who displease her by telling her unpleasant things about her unpleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really, really put off by her. Very much. Very, very put off by her. Much. She's just a lazy speaker. I think it's a lazy mind. She doesn't really care about anything but herself, her own comfort, her own security. Doesn't look much past that. The rest of it's just fulfillment to her. She doesn't give a shit.
Well, moving on from Miss, what's her name? Jennifer Siebel? I can't remember. She's married to Gavin Newsom. That's all I need to know, right?
Yeah, Jennifer Siebel. Jennifer Siebel Newsom.
Yeah. Oh, well. There are a number of things that just show up in the news constantly. Other than AI stories, the other thing that seems to be super common are stories about drones. So this thing from Interesting Engineering, new 190 per hour speeding stud tactical drone can be deployed in just 2 seconds. So this is literally a thing you can give to soldiers, and in no time at all, you can say, let me just whip this out. and then you've got a drone up and running in the air. So a new unmanned aerial vehicle developed by US-based defense firm X-Down aims to significantly reduce deployment time on the battlefield, transitioning from a stowed state to active flight in just 2 seconds. It's like the Switchblade of drones. The system, known as the Small Tactical Unmanned Drone, or STUD, great acronym, is designed for rapid response operations where speed, portability, and adaptability are critical. Unlike traditional drones that require assembly or extended setup procedures, the STUD is engineered for immediate use, allowing operators to deploy it almost instantaneously in high-pressure environments.
Almost all the drones are unmanned, but
yeah, I mean, if you're going to use this to like take out other drones and stuff, I could see where you would really want to be able to launch this thing. It says the near instant activation is intended to provide tactical advantage in time-sensitive scenarios such as reconnaissance or threat response. Yeah, if you're under threat, having something like this that you can whip out in 2 seconds seems like it would be an advantage.
that looks really neat. The soft piece has to be just as efficient. So the part that manages that drone after it's in the air needs to be as nimble and easy as the apparent design of that drone is in to field it. Put that to project that in.
Can you get a little closer to your mic, please?
They need to be able to project that into the field easily on the soft part of it, on the control part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The drone is, really a cool thing, but controlling the drone when you're in the field, that has a lot of that's harder than it looks.
Well, especially if somebody else has a drone coming to kill you. So it says
Exactly.
the UAV can
Ukrainians are fighting that.
Can be deployed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, as well as precision strike operations. I kind of feel like if you're going to use this for intelligence or surveillance, the 2-second deployability may not be as big a factor.
It can be if you're trying to do a quick drop.
Yeah.
So you're buzzing through an area real quick on a truck or even a slow-moving helicopter or something like that, and you drop it out the side. Just this way, it looks like you're just passing through, but in reality, you're dropping a drone.
Yeah.
The problem is that the battery life's only 17 minutes. That's just a little problem. Because by the time it gets there, unless you're dropping it right on the thing you want it to look at,
yeah, might as well blow up something.
Well, I mean, the thing is like if it's for reconnaissance, which is what they're also saying, like by the time it gets there, it's going to have to turn around, or it's going to have to be or it's going to have to like self-detonate or something like that, or kill itself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This way, it can't be used by the enemy.
Like I said, might as well blow up something.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like use it for reconnaissance for like 7 minutes for the 10-minute time it takes to get out there, and then the last 30 seconds just have it dive bomb a tank. Like there you
unless
go.
It's just a one-way thing, and you're okay with trading disposing of the drone in exchange for more range. Yeah, good times. But yeah, there's like so much drone news, just like constantly drone news. That's like all there is in my feed most of the time. Just crazy. Crazy. All right, well, let's move on to literally anything else. We've got a bunch of stuff. I know I said the spreadsheet was a little thin, but it's not that thin. So we did have this happen, of course. Artemis came back, which was good. It looks, I'm just going to kill the sound, but it essentially came in, no problems, splashed down, life is good. Couldn't really ask for much of anything to go better with Artemis. They're back on the ground, and that's fantastic. They didn't really have a lot of problems with the mission.
No.
Which is good.
Yeah.
They had a very different role than the astronauts in Apollo. basically these were 4 mission specialists without a pilot. There was no piloting to be done in the capsule, and that the so what you have are 4 people who are completely devoted to the science, that's being done. You don't really have people who are devoted to the guidance and getting the ship home. I just find that a very interesting shift in the uh uh it probably has affected how things are at NASA. There probably is a feeling that there's nothing like the old guys who people like uh Gordon Cooper, who had to figure out how to position his capsule manually because his navigation aids failed, and he managed to get it right and hand guide his capsule into the right attitude to fire his retro rockets to return to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That was a rather studly move, in my opinion. You don't have people who have to face that kind of challenge anymore because it's all being done from the ground.
Yeah, and the computers are a lot better. There's no slide rules. I hope they brought at least one slide rule with them just in case, though.
Absolutely. I would have brought, if I were going up there and I was, I would have my little K&E mini.
I have one of the same slide rules they used on the Apollo missions. I can't remember which one it
really?
is. Yeah, it's a Pickett. God, what is it? Let's see, it's like an N600 or something. I'll have to look it up. I haven't
Which
looked at my
mission was
slide
it
rules in a
used-
while.
Which one was it on?
It wasn't. It didn't go into space, Skep. It's the same
Oh.
model.
Oh, same model.
I
Yeah,
don't
I've
have
gotta
those
pick
kind
it
of
also. I've
connections.
gotta
See,
pick
that
it
would be
also.
something you could get.
I actually did have a of it was something that was cut off one of the Gemini astronauts' suits. It was a piece of rubber that was they sacrificed one of the suits when they came back, and Dad got some fragments of it. Basically, my
Hey,
sister's got pieces of a Gemini suit.
Harry,
Yes.
is it one of the round ones? Slide
Is-
rule?
Oh no, it's not a round one.
No. These are.
There are some really cool round slide rules.
Well, it's like from what the internet says on Apollo 11, 13, and 17, Pickett N600-ES was the one that.
So I got it right.
Yeah, it's just that's at least what the internet is saying.
Yeah. No, I have one of those. I can't remember if I have it in yellow or white though, and I don't remember which one they used
Yeah,
on
you
the
got to find it.
thing.
Find it
But it's a
now.
great
The ones
little slide
that
rule.
I remember seeing are white. I do not remember seeing a yellow slide rule, and I've seen some of the Apollo slide rules in TV hits.
Well, there were yellow versions made. Once again, this is what the internet is, because it was air quotes a light eye saver, air quotes,
Mhm.
because that's what it was also called, an eye saver. Supposedly the yellow one was easier to read. I'm not going to
Well,
argue
yeah,
either way
that-
with it.
I'm showing it on screen, Skep. So
Yeah.
here's
Yep.
the
Hey,
N600
little baby.
the N600 ES, or is this the 1016? I can't remember.
The ones that I remember seeing were the ivory color,
Yeah.
not the yellow, but the no telling. They probably had all.
I don't
Oh,
know. I have a
absolutely, yeah.
I have a
Those-
weird thing about old computing devices. I've always sort of always found them to be kind of interesting.
I have
No.
I have an entire library of 5 1/4. This is before the little floppy disks. These are the old floppy disks. I've got CPM operating system, my friend. We could
Mhm.
fire that right up and run DBase 2.
There, see, it's the second one. It qualifies as a vintage computer. In my opinion.
I like all three.
I like trades.
I like trades.
I like turtles. So okay. But there was one technical problem other than the fact that the toilet broke twice, which is there's a little bit of a helium leak. Now, this was actually in the service module, not in the command module. And it wasn't leaking to the outside, it was internal. So the service modules, kind of the part that they don't splash down. So there was the capsule, which is the part that was all the way on top, right? Behind it was the service module, which had propulsion and other types of systems. They get rid of that. That was leaking a little bit of helium. And people would say, okay, so why do you need helium? Well, the positioning thrusters use helium as an inert propellant for the oxidizer, I believe it is. And so those leaks are something they really need to fix. So if there's going to be an Artemis 3, they need to figure out what the hell is wrong with these helium valves, because that was part of the delay, that managing the helium supply on these spacecraft seemed to be problematic. And I'm using the word appropriately this time as opposed to it being a cop-out. It really does seem to be an issue. But overall, I mean, if those are the only... It was not a critical error. It would have been much funnier if it had gone off in the capsule and they'd all sounded like Daffy Duck the whole time. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been awesome. I wouldn't want them to get hurt either, but still at the same time, that would have been fucking funny as hell.
So
we're here.
If you released a tiny amount of sodium hexafluoride, which makes your voice get really deep, do you think they would just cancel each other out?
I don't know.
Now, this is an important question. If you mix helium and sodium hexafluoride, what happens if you have both of them in the air at once?
It is a vapor pressure problem,
Yeah.
and you would have to do the differential.
Yeah.
On the between the two forces. It's a force differential problem. Very, very straightforward, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very straightforward theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically.
To meaning working the problem in a school, situation where you're writing the answer on a piece of paper is one thing. Setting this up experimentally is.
Yeah, I mean, cough syrup, no-dos, and Everclear seemed like a good idea. It all should just... If you get the mixture right, it'll all just balance itself out, right?
Led to the best weekend ever.
Yeah, who says I'm not fun?
Versus another one.
All right, so let's see. So I'm glad they're back. I'm really glad nothing horrible happened to them. It was nice to... I don't know. I felt really good about that. I felt good about being a human. I felt good about being an American. I'm glad that everything worked out okay with the Artemis thing. And I know it's really expensive and stupid, but I really want us to go back to the moon. And I know it's dumb, but just build a moon city. We're wasting money on so much other stupid shit. Just build a moon city. It'll be fine. Let's just go back to the moon. Let's see.
What aggravates me is people are like, it's wasting money. It's wasting money. And it's just kind of like, I'd much rather than waste money on this.
But does it waste money?
Shit.
But
yeah,
does
that's
it?
The thing. Well, the problem is that you know this, Harry. The people who have that belief, you're never going to change their mind that it's a waste of money. So the only thing you can do is kind of go with them a little bit and go, okay, you think it's a waste of money? Fine, we'll go with that theory. If it's a waste of money, I'd much rather than waste money on this. Because it means the sooner we can build moon base and the sooner we can go exploring.
Well, yeah. Plus, there's a much greater than zero chance that in 50 to 70 years, we're going to be going, man, I'm glad we put that thing on the moon and gathered all that helium-3 because that's what's running our civilization now.
See, that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's like...
And that's just one example. There are a lot of things we can't anticipate all the things. Apollo paid for itself over 10 to 1 in terms of the economic benefit of that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's kind of like I said, if with those type of people, you just got to go with them a little bit and go, all right, fine. It's a waste of money. Okay, cool. Much rather waste the money like this.
It's not feminist glaciology.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
Feminist glaciology is stupid. Obviously, you're not going to get anything out of that. But something like this, it's hard to even calculate how much good stuff you're going to get out of it.
Well, it gives us
I know,
so
I'm
much
a moon
information.
simp.
Well, no, it gives us a lot of information because we also don't see the other side of the moon very often.
Mm-hmm.
Which that also gives us a bunch of stuff. It also reconfirms trajectory and the math that it takes to do the whole thing around the moon and Like, it does a bunch of stuff. Like, the people who say it's a waste of money piss me off almost as much as the motherfuckers who claim it's fake. Like, it's just like, shut up. Like, just let humanity have a fun moment. Shut up.
Well, stuff like creating drugs in zero gravity. There's just all sorts of things that between zero gravity, the potential for zero gravity, better space systems for keeping people alive in space. There's the amount of possible and even likely benefit that we're going to get from something like this is hard to fathom. Also, to be completely blunt, we have a real problem with AI just sucking the life out of a lot of things. Having like a really big, super fun project for a lot of the smart / crafty / hardworking people who are really good at their job might not be the worst thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not just saying just keep people busy. I mean, keep people busy in meaningful ways that continue to kind of like expand human potential, the frontiers of what we're capable of doing. This is a good challenge. That's a suitable challenge for us, as opposed to just getting bogged down in daily nonsense and sitting around getting our universal basic income while AI does everything. All right, let me see. So have you guys been seeing this sort of stuff in the news? All these IT warnings, especially because of what's been going on with Iran? There's been a lot of attempts by Iranians and their proxies to break into American systems. There's a lot of IT risk going on for people who aren't prepared for this stuff. So like a lot of the old routers that people have never updated the firmware on that have just been running for 10 or 15 years, those...
Hack me.
Yeah, they're just saying hack me. So there's this first thing, stop using these networks. Google, NSA, and TSA warn. They're saying you should be really careful about just using a public Wi-Fi network.
If you're stupid, it's been a warning since public Wi-Fi has been a thing. If you're stupid enough to use it, it's on your own ass.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, to be blunt, I think this particular risk is a little overstated, because if your system should be set up in such a way that you don't assume that your network is secure. Yeah. I shouldn't even care if my network is secure. As long as my device isn't doing something stupid like using, UPnP, where it lets the network help it auto-configure. Hell no. Network is not going to help me auto-configure anything.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that, Harry.
Yeah, you're just not going to do that. And so any packets that go between you and your bank or you and your job or you and anything important should not assume that the network is secure. So if they want to waste their time trying to decrypt my TLS encrypted traffic, have fun.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people with older devices who don't really know about security are kind of at risk. You really should not use these Wi-Fi networks willy-nilly. It's just way too easy for bad actors to create fake hotspots and then people will attach to them. It's
attacked.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. Well, there's this one, and here's the one about the routers. Thousands of consumer routers hacked by Russia's military. Yes, there were a whole bunch of them that have been hacked recently, and it's a lot of the old MikroTiks and other things that where people just don't update the firmware.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open port. Hello.
I use MikroTik stuff, and I'm on the beta release branch. I mean, I keep that stuff up to date. Yeah. But if you have like a really old system, it's probably good even on your home networks to kind of keep up on this stuff, because I think some of the home media server stuff and file servers where people say, hey, well, let's just put up these documents for checking account records and things on the home file server, that it's only backed by like an old version of SMB, the Windows file sharing stuff.
All right.
That's not so bueno.
Well, it's straightforward.
I guess all I'm trying to say clumsily is don't assume that your network is secure and you'll have a much better time of it. You should not be relying on your network being secure. If you want your network to be secure, don't have any Wi-Fi and just run a wired connection to everything. And when you're using your phone, just use the phone network and turn your Wi-Fi off. or secure your stuff. You had to deal with this crap, Serenity. I mean, users, am I right? Is she gone?
Yeah, I think she's gone. But the phone network is actually fast enough to play music at least on.
Yeah. Well, it
And,
has been ever since easily with all the 4G stuff and the 5G stuff. It's just kind of a no-brainer.
So I can't tell you the last time I hooked up to a public Wi-Fi. That I'm more apt to use my phone as a hotspot for one of my laptops if I'm going someplace with a laptop.
I feel like I need to assign myself an action item to talk about Graphene OS and the new device that's coming out for it in about a year. Maybe when that gets closer to being a real thing. But phones are, I don't know, phones are kind of a neat little topic of and in themselves. They used to not be terribly capable, but
Now they're amazing.
yeah. Well, and in terms of the AI stuff, the amount of memory that's in a phone now, some of the really small AI models will run just fine on a phone.
Oh, wow. Run
Yeah.
locally, you mean?
Yeah, you can just run a lot of the AI stuff locally.
Awesome.
The possibilities are kind of endless for a lot of this sort of stuff. I won't get into the details because I bore myself if I get into it too much.
For me.
So let's see. Did Serenity leave a note? Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I don't want you to miss out on this. Okay. So some Americans say they're refusing to pay federal taxes.
Some Americans are protesting the war in Iran and President Trump's domestic policies by putting their money where their mouth is as part of a call to sit out of paying federal taxes this year.
I'm Rachel, and I'm not paying my federal income tax this year.
It's time that we stop paying our
I'm
taxes.
Rachel, and I'm going
Tax
to
strike
jail.
2026. Spread the word.
On social
None
media,
of you have
people-
enough money to do anything. I'm sorry. Most of you are massively in debt because you took out too large a loan to go be a nurse or a teacher or get some stupid degree. Most of you already are defunct on your student loans. So
That's a
any
master's
tax
in education right there.
She seems like she's sort of got her shit together. She might have enough money, but
the thing is like they'll put a lien on your account, you morons. If you even don't, and that's getting past like not going to jail.
yeah, not paying your taxes as a form of civil disobedience is not an effective strategy.
Yeah. Like, what the thing is like you just want to look at them and go, so how is not paying your student loans? How has that made the college system change?
Yeah,
Like how that it's just going to make them raise taxes, and then when you do start to pay again, you're fucked. Smart geniuses, smart.
Yeah, these people are SMRT if there ever were any people. This is absolutely not going to work.
Also,
the system is so heavily weighed against you. There's no way in hell this is going to work.
There's too many people, especially on TikTok, who are being bought and paid for by Qatar and China. So we don't even know if these people are legit or not, if they're just trying to do that to try to drain the American coffer in order to, because they think it's going to win them a war. Like, that's the thing, is that, okay, but you're going to, we're going to tax strike. Most of you don't make enough money for it to matter. Now, if the rich ones tax struck and then fled the country, that would probably matter. But you little peons who are making probably barely $50,000 to $90,000 a year, good luck with that.
Yeah, refusing to pay your taxes is like getting into a legal debate with the officer that pulls you over, on trumped up charges to try to, because he wants to run a dog around your car. Yeah, I know the law. No, the place to argue about the law is in the court, not with the Leo who pulled you over.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like the whole DHS thing, or the ICE thing.
Yeah.
The war has already been paid for, you morons. Like, you're not going to stop the war from not happening. You're not going to cause it to, the air quotes war. Like, it's already been funded. And most of the stuff being used it's already gone through. It doesn't matter. you're not doing anything. If you actually want stuff to change, you have to start at the local level and politicians and all that kind of stuff because everybody knows now with the protests that so many of them are paid protesters that nobody believes the protests anymore. So they don't matter. There were 9 million. How many of those 9 million that were protesting were children or people who were underage who couldn't vote? Like, it's just this whole thing of, like, and like I said, there's so many. I forgot to add Qatar to the number. Like, there's the Qatar, there's China, there's a bunch of and Iran's trying to do. There's so many people doing subversive stuff. Like, you can't even believe the people because it's like, okay, sure, honey, show me on the tax bill where you don't pay it.
Yeah.
Prove it to me.
Well, on California taxes, there's a whole thing at the end where, you know, check this box if you want to give $1 to the bald eagle. Check this box if you want to give whatever. That's not how federal taxes work. You don't get to just go check this box if you don't want to finance money being sent to Israel for the Middle Eastern weapons sales or something. There is nothing there. This is not going to work. These people are LARPing as being revolutionaries. I don't know what outcome do they think is going to happen? Yeah.
Well, they think that it's going to, oh, well, the money will go away. Honey, as everyone has pointed out multiple times, if you actually pay attention, the country's already in debt. Do you think they're not going to go further into debt to finish this war?
Yeah. Hey, what was it that they put Al Capone in jail for again?
Income tax evasion.
Yeah. I mean, of all the things that are unavoidable in life, there's death and taxes. Yeah.
That's how they got most of the mob. That's how they get most gang members. It's like, because the other stuff you could, like, oh, I didn't actually touch the stuff. I didn't know it was in that truck. Nope. You're living this lifestyle. You're claiming you made this much money. You didn't pay any even taxes. Fuck you.
And it doesn't matter what it is. You know, if it was some guy on the right going, you know, I don't want my federal monny going to trans and the kids or something, you know, you still wouldn't get away with it. This is not an effective way to protest.
Yeah. It's like, you're going to have to you're actually going to have to pick politicians who actually want to change things and then hold them accountable. And when I say hold them accountable, that doesn't mean standing outside of their fancy house with their security throwing rocks at the windows. I mean, when they don't do what they said they would, you go, all right, you're out, bitch. And instead of keep voting them in, Bernie Sanders, when they do nothing.
Well, if you want to get a city's attention, for instance, a lot of people just deciding we're not going to go to work today, we're all going to phone in sick on a given day, could cause a city to grind to a halt. You will get City Hall's attention. But the federal government deciding that you're sad about Iran or whatever and Donald Trump and that you're not going to pay your federal taxes.
How about no?
Yeah, how about no?
and like I said, most of them are massively in debt. So your balls don't have the money that you think you do. Like I said, if you're getting like upper middle class and above tax bracket, you do that. Like people, like not your mommy and daddy have the money. Like you have that level of money. If you can get them to do it, you maybe could get change. But most of these people are not making anywhere near the income, even if it's 10 million of them, which I don't even think it's going to be 10 million. It'll probably be like a couple thousand. Even if it was 10 million, it's not going to be enough to actually matter. Because if you actually knew our tax structure, how it is in the United States of America, you know the upper earners are actually the ones who pay most of the taxes, not you, morons.
I do suppose that if I want to try to steelman their argument, they could just say that the mechanisms that are used to extract the tax money, it's like if a bunch of people are speeding on a roadway, you can't pull all of us over. Maybe they're just thinking that the number of enforcement actions would be so great that the IRS would never be able to keep up with everybody.
I love that concept because it shows you've never driven on the East Coast before.
Yeah.
Let me tell a story.
Yeah, you just look by the side of the road and you see 18 supercars. I've seen it here. They just pull everybody over.
Oh no, this is a funny moment. This happened to me when I was just learning to drive and I'd driven on the highway for the first time when I was 18. We were driving to Virginia Beach. Skep probably knows the highways around there. And going down the main highway to Hampton Roads to get to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. There's a lot of because even though it's close to the ocean, there's a lot of rolling hills. So when you're driving, you're going up and down a little bit. Literally, I was going the speed limit. I saw just on top of one of the bridges, like a cop, just 3 cops with the speed guns. And I was just like, what are they going to do? They're up on the bridge. It doesn't even have direct access to the highway. There was a state sheriff standing in the middle of the fucking highway, just pointing at people and going, no, you, and just like making people get off the road. And they were pulling over like 10, 12, 15 cars at a time and just ticketing their asses. So I understand the analogy you're using, but when I've seen cops pull that shit with sheriffs who actually know what they're doing, no, they'll get you.
I know. I'm trying to.
I know.
You know, you don't understand an issue if you can't steel man the other person's argument, but they're making it really hard. It's really hard to steel man their argument. You like this one, Skep?
Pardon me? I'm sorry?
Do you like what's being displayed on the screen?
I do.
Close.
Table plate.
Single quote, semicolon, drop table plates, semicolon.
I'm assuming that's having to do with the speed cameras and the coding.
Yeah. That's
Drop table
sanitize your inputs.
Out.
This is basically this would be SQL for, hey, you know that database table that we have of all the license plate numbers? We don't need that anymore. Bye-bye now. Sanitize your inputs, people. Okay. So this is actually kind of cool. So hackers meet their match. New DNA encryption protects engineered cells from within. And what does this mean? What this means is we have all of these things that we've created. Samples of people's DNA, engineered organisms that we use for industrial processes and all sorts of other things. Now, what's to stop somebody if they overwhelm the physical security? You've got all this stuff locked up, but you don't want somebody to be able to get access to it. Is there something more you can do, kind of like how we encrypt data? Well, turns out there is something we can do. What they're doing is they're looking at ways to actually take DNA in samples and make it so that it's encoded. So the way this actually works is they've come up with a system where they can take a biological sample and then they perform operations on it that cause specific, understandable changes in the DNA. Essentially, they're literally rearranging the DNA in ways that can be undone. So you have some sample, you run this process on it, and it makes it much harder for somebody to then recover the original DNA if they were to steal the sample. So it literally is encrypting the DNA. Now, it's not quite as good as regular encryption. It turns out it makes it 990 times more difficult to get to the original stuff because there's only a finite number of things you can sort of do to DNA that are easy to reverse. But
and they're not all reversible. I realize what they're doing now.
This is actually pretty cool.
This is really complicated.
Yeah, so the whole idea. So in this study, researchers use a cybersecurity-inspired approach to protect cells at the DNA level while using the cell's own biological security system. They developed a scenario-based simulation using a designed blue team and decrypting red team. First, the development blue team scrambled the DNA by rearranging and flipping genetic instructions so the cell could no longer read them correctly. They started with a functional genetic unit that includes a promoter, the on switch, and the gene of interest. Then they broke this unit into separate parts, arranged them in the wrong order, and flipped some segments backwards. The point being that they're making a transformation to the DNA that can be untransformed at a later date. And if you don't know the rules for how to undo it, you can't actually read the DNA. So it's like copyright protection on whatever sample you're trying to secure.
Wow.
This is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Somebody was going for a walk or had a weird dream or spent just a little too much time in the shower and had like a brain fart and said, hey, wait a second.
I've got an
bunch
idea.
of pot. A really good bunch of pot. Just,
you think this is one of those in Tequila es Verdad sort of?
Yeah.
sort of
I think this was a beanbag chair with Steely Dan playing.
Vino es Veritas.
Just woo!
And tequila is for dad. I like that one.
Man, like, what if we could just?
You know, I'm
like-
violently allergic to tequila.
Are you really?
Yeah. I've never really liked the taste of it, and I accidentally got some in a Long Island iced tea a long time ago. I was like retching violently after a few sips of it once I realized what was in there.
Boy.
I cannot tolerate tequila at all.
It's got some, it's got trace of, it's got substantial parts of the mezcal plant. You're probably sensitive to something, one of the alkaloids from the mezcal plant. That's almost certainly what that is.
Yeah.
Especially with the nausea. That's the big giveaway, because alkaloids make you vomit.
Oh yeah. I mean, just a small amount of it. I mean, it's happened twice, and in both occasions, within 10 to 15 minutes, I was throwing up.
Yep.
And I've never even consumed much of it because I don't like the taste of it. So for me, this isn't like a real big problem. Oh no, I can't drink this thing that I hate.
Exactly. But the difference with me is I just expanded that to all alcohol.
Yeah.
Just gets hangovers from tequila. That's it.
I don't like hangovers. They're
the
definitely
thing
not
about
fun.
it is I'm not selling the teetotaler lifestyle, but as I got farther away from alcohol, the benefits of not drinking are substantial. They really are substantial. I wouldn't even be alive if I'd the way I was drinking 20 years ago.
It's hard to make a really good pineapple upside down cake without some rum.
Yeah. And if you want good homemade vanilla extract, you need decent vodka and half decent bourbon.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm able to slide through life with those handicaps. Having to buy my vanilla extract. And the other thing is I'm not I'm not against using alcohol in cooking.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't even think twice about it.
Just say flambe.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's I don't even care that the alcohol most of the time people say, well, the alcohol cooks out. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Really.
Nothing like that happens. Okay. Some of the alcohol does, but probably 50% of it is still in there.
Mhm.
So it just depends on how you treat it, how long the heat source is. That alcohols leave organic mixtures at a certain rate when you apply energy to them, and at 1 atmosphere, and that's just the way that works.
Yeah, and alcohol sometimes it's just dangerous. I remember I was doing something in the hospitality industry. I was working, and the guy who was the manager, I was just doing this to put myself through school because nobody's going to give Harry anything for school because I'm not in any particular group that's entitled to get free shit. So there you go. So I was working to go to university.
Well, you're in the group that has.
I'm massively privileged,
IQ.
apparently. So
you are massively.
I am massively privileged.
No, you are.
But I had to work to get through school, and I was working in the hospitality industry. And the guy who was the manager of the place, we were friends.
Yeah.
We were pretty good friends, we'd actually worked on some projects and stuff. And he was a good dude, and graduate of the hospitality program from the University of Michigan. A good guy.
Oh, that's a good program.
And he said, well, we both know that you're doing a great job and you don't really need to be here. And I'm not going to give you any more money anyway, because I just can't. So why don't we just do your performance review at the pub? I go, okay. So this idiot brought the full on Michigan drinking culture with him. And
oh no.
And he was basically just throwing Samuel Smith's ale, which is really not the easiest ale to digest anyway. It's kind of not a great English beer. Sorry if anybody who likes that one. And Rumpelmints. Oh my God, I've never felt so terrible the next day, except the combination of like 100 proof peppermint schnapps and not very good English ale. Just
was he trying to kill you?
I don't. Apparently,
that's my reaction to Serenity.
It's like, I'm not from Michigan. I'm soft.
That's not even a Michigan thing. Sweetness.
No,
like what Was he?
I lived in Ann Arbor
I thought
for
I was.
5 years.
I didn't think I
lived
was
in
going
Ann
to die,
Arbor
but
for
I
5
kind of
years.
wanted
That's-
to. You know, I mean,
It's not a U of M thing.
that was a rough
Rumpelmans
next day.
alone. Rumpelmans alone will make you want to just like
That was a
go.
that was a
Like,
rough.
can my ancestor come out of the ground and kill me?
That was a rough
Just
next
been-
day. I really
Oh.
feel like I should have just done a
It was-
worse job. I don't
like,
want
did he-
that
what-
review again.
Did he want to put you on disability to get you better schooling? Like, what was he trying to do?
I don't know.
Was he trying to kill your liver? 'Cause
I'm-
that's-
you know,
that's the
here,
kind of thing
you
that'll
know,
make-
I'm helping. You know,
that's the kind of mixture that makes your liver go, "Nah, man, I'm out." And just
Yeah.
cut itself out and jump. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it does.
Well, the thing about
Done.
alcohol does a double whammy on you. The reason you felt so bad the next day.
yeah. It was I
Was-
had formaldehyde in my large intestine.
Well, you had acid aldehydes in your bloodstream. You
Yeah.
certainly did, and you also had the effect of alcohol being so goddamn hygroscopic that you probably were pretty dehydrated. What that means is that the blood vessels in your brain start pushing in an unnatural way because they have changed shape on
Yeah.
the nerves in your head. That's where Mr. Headache comes from.
Well, it was a
That's a blood pressure
teachable moment. And
Ugh.
and what did I learn from this? One, you know, people who are really good at drinking drink lots of water. And two, don't let people
Bingo.
pressure you into drinking things that you don't want to drink.
Also
just
bingo.
say no. It's totally fine.
Say no.
Green Badger does bring up a valid point. Could
Yeah.
be worse. Could be Wisconsin drinking culture. And I responded in chat, which is, Lord in heaven, don't even say that to him. That'll kill him by proxy.
Yeah.
Like, it's... ooh,
No, I'm
no.
soft. If I went to Wisconsin, I would probably
Honey,
just die.
There are alcoholics who wouldn't survive Wisconsin or Michigan drinking culture.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the thing that always makes me laugh whenever the Brits try to talk about how they drink better than us.
Mhm.
I'm always like, you've only dealt with city people, bitch. Like, don't even you're not
Yeah.
on the Midwest or the country level, baby. I don't give a damn what y'all think.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Oh,
You know, I have
like-
I have plenty of fortitude in non-alcohol related areas. I really do. But
I'm sure
when it
you
comes
do.
when it comes to anything involving like my digestive system, I am just weak. I'm weak, and it's just not something I'm good at. But we should probably
wanna
move on
take-
to
you wanna
literally any other topic. Sorry, go ahead,
You want to
Scap.
take care of that digestive system.
Yeah, because it's the only one
saying.
you've got.
That's right.
Exactly. So let's see. Where were we? Spreadsheet. Where's the stupid spreadsheet? Okay. All right. So this is a thing that keeps coming up. It's one of these unflushable turds of an idea. Spain, Morocco move closer to building Strait
Yeah,
of
come on
Gibralter
now.
tunnel. Now,
No. No.
why, Skep?
Jesus H. Christ. Son of
Did it have
a-
anything to do with this? I mean, the thing about the tunnel is it looks like it's like they're so close together, right? You just look over across the way and you can see the other shore, and it just seems like
Yeah.
this should be just the
My
easiest
friend,
thing in the world
I've
to do,
been
right?
Gibraltar. I've been to Gibraltar. It is Africa's a long way away. You can see it. You
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah.
And it's a distant shoreline, way the hell and gone.
But you can see it. It's
you
close.
Can just barely see it. You can just see it. You can just see it from at shore level. If you go up on the rock in Gibraltar, which we did later on, it's easy to see.
Yeah. Yeah, Africa's over there. The problem is, as you can see from this this helpful diagram, is
yeah.
the North American
They're
plate,
moving.
the Eurasian plate, and the African plate all basically come together almost at that spot. And there is a fault that runs, well, several faults that run right through the strait. Where you want to build that tunnel, there is a fault line that runs right through there. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, there's so many other things that need human effort than this. You don't need what is the big push to go from Marrakesh to Toledo? Why does that need to happen?
There's one good reason why
If
something
you know
like
anything
this.
about Morocco, there's no reason for Moroccans to go to Spain.
No, there's one good reason why you might want to do this, and that is that Africa is a shithole, but it's a great place to put solar panels. What they really want to be able to do is run a giant extension cord from Africa into Europe. And
that's been tried.
Well,
that's been tried.
Yeah.
On a big way too.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money in the Sahara.
I think that this is a terrible idea, and they'd probably be better off trying to build a suspension bridge than that tunnel, just because it's more tolerant of the kinds of horrible things that are going to happen geologically.
But Harry, I got to step away. I have a dog situation.
Yeah, go.
I'll be right back.
Is Serenity gone? Hey, it's just me. All right. Okay, good. Go deal with your dogs.
Brenda.
All right. So let's see. What do we do without anybody else to talk to? Okay, Spain and Morocco. Hey, I could look at chat.
I'm here.
Didn't you have to go?
No, Brenda.
Okay. I wasn't trying to guilt trip you.
No worries.
Blake Star is 3043. Never had a true hangover ever. I've only had one twice in my life. Once was the Rumpelmints Samuel Smith's thing, and the other one was just me enjoying rum and pineapple juice a little too much one night. That was another bad decision. You know what? When I put my fingers in a light socket, I don't just do it over and over again. So I figured stopping at 2 is fine.
Absolutely.
Hey, people have different ideas of fun, right? I mean, alcohol is a great social lubricant, and a lot of people have had a lot of good times because of alcohol. You know, if it works for somebody else, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Harry, I'm sorry. I am going to have.
Okay, go.
I thought I was going to. Hold on.
So Serenity's gone. Okay, so let's see. What can we talk about? Well, we could show some palette cleansers, maybe. No, we're not going to do that. Let's see. Well, surprising almost nobody. You know, I was talking about the fraud in California and, you know, the stuff that Nick Shirley brought up with all the hospices. It's actually gotten so bad that California was shamed into doing something. So California officials charged 21 people in hospice fraud exceeding $250 million. Now, you know, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is not by any means done. And this stuff has been around for the longest time and nobody did anything. I don't think it's a coincidence that Nick Shirley revealing that all this stuff is out there and then suddenly we're finally doing something about it. Yeah. I think that he really is doing a fantastic service. Even the California Democrats have stepped up and started going after some of these people. It's really, really sad when you've got fraud that's just that obvious and nobody does anything about it until one guy picks up a video camera and goes on YouTube and changes stuff. And good for Nick Shirley. Somebody should take some of these streets that they keep renaming, name a couple of them after that kid. Why not? I mean, he is basically just a kid. What is he, like 21, 22? Let's see, what is chat saying? Nothing much at the moment. Okay. Well, let's just set that aside. So there's this thing right here, speaking of more fraud and stuff that's going on. So the LA Police Department files were leaked online. So the LA City Attorney basically didn't, she and her department didn't do a very good job. So a bunch of investigation files about like internal investigations into police misconduct and a lot of other things just got leaked because apparently cybersecurity wasn't something they were going to worry about. A data breach at the LA City Attorney's Office led to a massive cache of confidential LAPD files getting dumped online. Hackers gained access to file sharing system that stored documents involved in police-related litigation. Like I said, the basic Windows file sharing stuff is hot garbage. It's really not good from a security perspective. The records include personnel and disciplinary files normally kept secret under state law. What else could be there? Confidential informant information. I mean, who the hell knows? This is really, really bad. I got to say that LA is a shithole, and it doesn't surprise me that they can't manage something as basic as not letting this kind of stuff off. This is almost the kind of information you should air gap. Like, why are these records even available online without somebody actually plugging in a drive or doing something specific? It's just crazy. Just crazy stuff. All right. Let's see. So I do like to complain about rats a lot because I hate them. I honestly feel like my house is actually rat-free for the first time in a while. I've finally done them in, you know, knock wood. Unfortunate and disruptive. Rat infestation closes Berkeley Senior Center. Man, I wish there was a way to just deal with these things, like some kind of neutron bomb or something, or like rat contraceptives. It's not good when old people are just trying to do old people things in peace, and then they discover that up in the drop ceiling, it's just full of rodents. And so they had to close the senior center in Berkeley because, once again, somebody couldn't just do their basic job, which is not have Willard and friends go after all of the old people. Let's see. You know, without people to talk with me, we go through these awfully quickly. Let's see. What's chat doing? See. So does that leak make all of the evidence inadmissible in court? I don't know. If it's like police disciplinary files, I think a lot of that stuff usually just results in people getting fired, not so much getting locked up. Because unfortunately with qualified immunity, a lot of cops who are the bad cops, you know, I know that most cops aren't bad cops, but the bad cops don't end up going to jail anyway. I would think that some of that stuff might relate to ongoing trials. So if it were to get leaked and it influenced jurors, possibly, maybe. I don't think it's that kind of information, though. And you're saying Green Badger Outdoor, wow, a whole 250 million. Yeah, I have a feeling the real number is going to be a lot more than that. It almost feels like it's an op. Like, well, we'll go after this. We'll sacrifice this 250 million of boomerang money so that they won't go after the real number. I think it's going to be a lot more than just 250 million. This is just a handful of people that they went after. It's like less than 20, I think, and that's just 250 million. You know, there's a lot more money floating around out there that they can get back than that. So let's see. Nigel's. Okay, so there's also this thing. So from the world of medicine, we've talked about deaf people before, and it is weird. Deafness is one of those strange disabilities where some of the deaf people are really weirdly militant about it. Like they say they don't even want to be cured. Like somehow life is better not being able to hear. I don't particularly understand why these people think this, but we've got this little story here. Let's see, make it so you can actually hear it.
A single injection. For decades, people born deaf had only really one option: cochlear implants, surgically fitted devices that approximate the sensation of sound but never quite replicate it. The problem in many people that are born deaf comes down to just a single gene called OTOF. Deep inside the cochlea sit the inner hair cells, tiny sensory cells that bend in response to sound waves hitting the ear and convert that movement into electrical signals your brain can interpret. At the base of each hair cell, OTOF produces a protein called otoferlin, which sits just at the junction between the cell and the auditory nerve and triggers the electrical signal. Without it, that signal simply never gets generated.
Yeah, so essentially they're using adenovirus vectors to go in and fix these cells. So with an injection, they can essentially convince these cells to create otoferlin and thereby essentially reconnect the hearing in these people. And it doesn't just like you get the injection, it comes back right away. It takes a series of months for this to sort of clean things up. But for the people who suffer from deafness, this is pretty huge because it's way better than a cochlear implant. I mean, this gives them natural hearing back over several months. You would think that's pretty fantastic. But how many other similar problems, you know, where somebody has a gene that's not allowing some protein to form properly and it ends up destroying their life? There's so many terrible diseases like that. Maybe in 15 to 20 years, we'll knock a few dozen of these things off the list of things we need to worry about. If it's just as simple as giving somebody a simple injection and then you solve some real problem that's messing up their life. Yeah, that would be pretty great. Let's see. Checking chat. I've met some blind people who don't want to be cured. Plato's Cave, I guess. Yeah, the allegory of the cave is a good one. It's a good one. No, there are people who are like that. And I don't know if it's just like a coping mechanism because they think it's just such a rhetorical question that they can just afford to make this kind of statement. But wanting to go through life not being able to see that, I don't know, I wonder if these are people who were previously able to see and then lost their sight, or people who were just sort of born that way. If you were just sort of born that way and you were satisfied with your life, maybe you don't think you're missing out on something. But I can't imagine that somebody who could see and then lost their sight wouldn't be really, 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 really happy to get it back. Just a thought. Let's see. So, another medical thing. 12 weeks of vitamin D helps reset immune system in people with irritable bowel disease. Thank God I don't have that problem. But vitamin D, which one of the things we learned from the whole COVID thing, is an incredibly powerful chemical in terms of things that it does that are good for your body. It seems to regulate all kinds of things related to the immune system. And in this particular case, since irritable bowel disease is in some ways often an autoimmune disease. Anything that sort of modulates the immune system to have it work the way it's supposed to instead of not the way it's supposed to is going to improve people's quality of life. Inflammatory bowel disease is a chronic condition where the body's immune system attacks the intestines. Yeah, autoimmune. Research is ongoing on the best ways to manage inflammatory bowel disease, including through medication and lifestyle changes. Results from a small study suggest that taking vitamin D may be helpful for people with inflammatory bowel disease and may help the body avoid attacking itself. Well, if you've got irritable bowel disease, you've got nothing to lose taking, safe amounts of vitamin D. Why not? Considering that it also helps with lung health and it helps protect you from getting lung infections. Sorry, what? Calcium absorption. Think about calcium is people get really obsessed about vitamin D and they forget about, was it K2? A lot of the calcium stuff, especially in women, is related to, K2? And I think boron is another one. There's a number of trace minerals and vitamins that tie into that.
Harry, there are all kinds of trace elements that have to do with, they're be called into some part of some cycle somewhere that you got to have just enough molybdenum in your bloodstream to,
a dab will do you.
Yeah, exactly. This one cycle, this one little enzyme cycle, it needs molybdenum. I can't even say the word. I've never been able to say that word, by the way. Molybdenum. It just is. Those are hard, soft consonants for me.
Yeah.
I'm much more suited to Klingon style talk. But anyway, hard consonants.
Well, I mean, English is hard, right?
English is hard. English is irregular. English is full of idioms.
So there was this video. I mean, I normally hate couple videos because I find the content to be just terrible. But this one just sort of made me laugh.
I think my Japanese wife can't pronounce.
Yeah, yoyu.
Oh, let's see. All right, first one.
これはストロベリー.
Again?
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Strawberry. I mean, we know what she's trying to say.
ストロベリーじゃん.
She did introduce a few extra syllables that weren't supposed to be there.
Well, she adds the D to the R.
Strolloberry.
Strawberry. It's just strawberries. Okay, next.
Strawberry.
スクワレル.
What's that?
Okay, that's a fail.
Yeah, that's a fail. Ask her to say the word Corolla.
Corolla?
Like Toyota Corolla. They can't say that one either.
Yeah.
Why is it? Why the R become L? Do you even know what it is?
知ってる.
What's that?
This.
Okay, next.
She is very
this
cute.
One must be easy now. Everyone eats this.
マクドナルド.
Where's the McDonald's? Is this McDonald's? Where's the McDonald's?
でもごめん、How you type 見ても最初 MC ドナルドかと思った。
MC Donald.
She's very cute. She seems like a lot.
Yeah, she seems fun.
She seems fun. I don't know why I enjoy Japanese people struggling saying English words. So I don't feel bad about molybdenum.
I don't.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, are there any words that I can't pronounce? I mean, when I'm on the air, I have trouble pronouncing things. But that's just because I get nervous and trip over my own tongue. But I don't know. I think for the most part, I'm reasonably competent at pronouncing English words. Probably. I don't know. If Serenity was here, she would remind me of something that I wasn't able to say.
You are very articulate, both in your expression, your content, and your form. You have a very clear voice.
Well, I think I told you when I was a little kid and they said, yeah, you have to do martial arts because it's good for you. It's like, I really don't want to. Okay, well, you have to do it anyway. Okay, fine. All of the, most of the kids were Asian of some sort in the martial arts thing. And they all thought I was English, like English, UK English, you know, a governor, cup of tea English. And I had to try to convince them that I wasn't.
How did you do that?
Not very well.
So,
I really enjoyed taking karate, not taekwondo, not tai chi, not ever, just karate. Just, It was fine. It was actually not the worst thing to do when you were a kid.
Oh no, it's good structured learning, teaches kids respect, things like that. My son, I had him in karate. Had both my kids, my son and my daughter, in karate when they were little. Mike took it all the way into the Marine Corps, and he was active in the Marine Corps. They have a full contact karate, and he was very, very active in that in the Marine Corps, and until he got basically should be
so
enough. And said, "Okay, it's not that fun."
I can't remember. Did I ever show you this? This is the karate rap.
Relax and breathe. Keep training. You'll get it. Ich, ni, song, shi. Come on, everybody, train karate.
Did I ever show you this?
No, I've never seen this before.
Ich, ni, song, shi. Come on, everybody, train karate. Karate, train your body all the time.
I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but I've trained karate from coast to coast.
Karate, train your body.
I've done the kung fu.
That's pretty great. This is where Assassin tells me that fun comes to die, because I have a really high tolerance for cringe.
This is great.
This is really awful.
This is world class.
This is about as bad as it gets.
Yeah. This is primo bad.
This is really, really bad.
Train karate.
Karate, train your body all the time. Kumite.
Okay. I think I hit my limit.
This is the 80s here. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Let's see. This I've saved for Sora. Let's see. Well, one thing that has actually changed, because we've been talking about this going in one direction and one direction only. AI is driving the price of memory up. Well, after jumping 2,200% over the last 12 months, DDR4 spot prices fall 5%. The first decline in nearly a year. DDR5 prices see some relief in China channel market. I'm surprised that it's actually gone down a little bit.
All that is a quick gasp. That's just a quick gasp.
I think possibly it might be due to higher energy costs.
Oh, really? You think that's
I think higher energy costs might actually be affecting the economy enough that people are delaying purchases, and that might be what's causing the spot prices to go down. It's just speculation.
Yeah.
I don't have any specific knowledge that is true.
how I would get how would I do the research to find out that? How could I find out how much spending on?
Econometrics.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to get anything precise enough to just get the order of magnitude right.
Well, even cause and effect would be hard to factor in, but it would be.
What I'm trying to talk.
But I think you'll accept that it would be impossible for there not to be any measurable side effects from significantly higher energy costs.
Absolutely agree with that.
So when you see
Qualitatively,
something,
make that judgment.
when you see a slowdown where you wouldn't expect to see any slowdown, it's reasonable to say to sort of say, do you think that these things might be related?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it could be, and it's hard to say how much of it coming from that and coming from other things. That it seems like that would.
Well, because AI spending is not slowing down.
Nope.
There is going to be a crash, and there is going to be a reckoning.
Yeah, but AI spending right now is almost like, those problems in B school they give you where, assume demand to be infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And that's practically what's going on with AI right now. The desire for AI produced anything is effectively endless.
Yeah, it's such a complicated topic, and I don't want to just talk about only AI. So let's see. So I did.
Anyway.
I can't remember. I think I mentioned that Elon was going to build his terafab.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. So he's going to build this enormous fab. Well, turns out.
Let me bring you into the conversation. What difference does it make for Intel now?
Intel announces it is joining Musk's terafab project.
De facto means basically, in layman's terms, to modernize and improve the chip manufacturing process. And so that is Intel's pitch, that they would come in with the knowledge and expertise of having scaled output across various nodes.
So let me stop this guy because he's not really helping. The thing is, if Intel is going to be involved with this terafab thing, what Intel was trying to do was leapfrog ahead in terms of technology. Instead of chasing value in the current market, they're trying to say, no, we're going to make better stuff, more high tech.
We're going to be positioned for the next.
Yeah, we're going to be. Yeah, we're looking to the future. That's what we're trying to do here at Intel. And so, in a lot of ways, I think Intel and Elon sort of teaming up, it's good for everybody. It's because he's going to get a better deal from Intel, honestly. He's going to get the kind of technology he wants. And
it's good for Intel, though.
And so you see this where it says here, intraday Intel 52632. I think it closed about $10 a share more, and that was just 4 days ago. Yeah, this is huge for Intel. It's had, I think Intel stock-wise is doing better than it's done in the last 25 years as of Friday. Yeah, it's doing great things. Intel might just not die. I don't think Intel getting bought by AMD is a good thing for anybody.
You're right, Harry. It's $10 high. 62.38 was the close.
Yeah. Yeah, full disclosure, I own Intel stock, and I'm not unhappy about this.
I am same.
Yeah. Of course, I also own AMD stock because apparently I just can't pick a side. Serenity back?
Yeah, Serenity's back.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about how Intel's stock is doing really well because it looks like they might be part of Elon's enormous fab for making chips. If we're making chips in the U.S., whether it's TSMC or Elon's fab or whatever, I'm happy to see high-tech chip manufacturing coming back to the U.S.
Yes.
In whatever form, because I think this is really good, rather than just depending on Taiwan's factories at TSMC, because that could all go pear-shaped really quickly if there was a Chinese invasion. And just imagine what that would do to our economy if suddenly we couldn't get advanced semiconductors at all. That would be bad.
Yeah, but I have my own biases, so we're going to leave it at that.
Okay. I wouldn't mind exploring these biases, but if you say you want to leave it at that, that's okay.
Oh no, I'm just tired of the world sucking Elon Musk's dick.
You're sorry of them. Well, I would say dick rider is a good description. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you and Skep. because you all don't do that. I'm talking about just the world as a whole. Like, yes, the man invests very well. Yes, he's intelligent. Yes, he picks very good projects, and I will agree with that. But there's a lot of people who do similar things to him who maybe you should give the chance to see if they have some good ideas instead of putting all your chips on black. Let's put it that way.
Well, he is kind of our current Howard Hughes kind of character. And
yeah.
And I really didn't think there was ever going to be another Howard Hughes.
Oh, there's always going to be another Howard Hughes. There was a Howard Hughes before Howard Hughes. It's just I believe in diversification.
Yeah.
And I want diversification. I want more than just this. And it's like I agree with you. I want us to make our semiconductors and chips here in the States. Absolutely 110%. We're as trustworthy as any other country is trustworthy, more so than some, less than others. But at the same time, I want other people to have I want to be pure capitalist and let others have a chance as well. But the problem is that greed overrides, not greed. The want for an easy payday, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
For some people overrides the let's give others a chance thing. So they go for the easy payout. And Musk is very good at picking stuff. I am never going to disagree with that. Or backing stuff or coming up with his own ideas, whatever.
And he's big enough that when he makes big, stupid decisions, it doesn't kill him.
Yeah, which is another amazing thing, which is awesome. That's an amazing position to be in.
Yeah.
But it's just I want others to be given a chance kind of thing. So I will be happy when there are others who also get chances. I want them to fight for it. I don't want it to be given to them on a silver platter, but at the same time, I don't know. Be open to some shit, motherfuckers. Like, goddamn.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, for instance, God, I don't know if I, in quotes, a dick rider for anybody. I mean, I'll happily talk about Donald Trump's incredible narcissism.
Oh,
That's
fuck yeah.
like, I mean,
God, that man is a narcissist. Jesus.
I mean, holy cow. But I've tried to talk people off the edge sometimes because they get a little unhinged about that. And they'll say like, hey, you know what Trump did? And I go, okay, what did Grampy do this time? Because really he is just kind of like a cranky old grandpa who's
sometimes
just a
you
little
need a cranky old grandpa.
Yeah,
though.
well, sometimes you need a cranky old grandpa who just kind of says, hey, Grandpa, did you see my new piercing? Is it fun going through airport security with all that metal in your face? You know, you need somebody who says your mohawk
100%.
looks stupid. Yeah.
Eye assassin.
There's nothing wrong with having Grampy at the wheel 99% of the time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's when Grampy gets a little too set in his ways and doesn't understand that he can be replaced is when it gets dangerous. That's Congress.
Yeah, as good a book as 1984 is, I don't agree with a lot of things George Orwell believed.
Yeah, Orwell had some...
Or Bertrand Russell, or H.G. Wells, or any number of them. You got to keep the dick riding to a minimum when it comes to public figures.
H.G. Wells is more worrying than Orwell.
Wasn't he a Fabian?
Well, the thing about the guys you're talking about is you can just take their good ideas. I mean, H.G. Wells had some good ideas.
Yeah.
Jules Verne had some good ideas. And Henry Ford had some good ideas. Henry Ford was probably more like Elon Musk than anybody else.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he was an unchallenged master of his domain. He tried and failed and tried and failed. Elon Musk has failed at a number of his things. Ford went bankrupt, I think, twice.
Yep.
Before he finally got a going concern that became the big car company, and and Ford was full of idiosyncrasies and flaws and problems. He had some notions about racial superiority that were just silly, and reflected the feelings of the time, and. So you take their good ideas and don't pay attention to their bad ones or laugh at their bad ones and move on. That's the way to pick your way through the paradigms.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the thing of like it's always sorry, too many thoughts at one time. Rewind. It's very interesting to listen to people talk, both my generation, Harry's generation, younger generation. Because you can tell the people who didn't actually pay attention in history because we've always had these characters. Carnegie, Vanderbilt, Ford.
Oh, those are all the robber barons. Yeah, a lot more innovators. Yeah.
But that's
Carnegie
the thing of like,
especially.
oh yeah. But that's the thing. We've always had these people. Elon is nothing new. He's just a version for this time.
Yeah.
And
He's
that's
the current
thing.
model.
Yeah.
Current year model.
Well, he named his company Tesla. It should give you all the insight into his character you need to.
Well, no, Tesla existed before him.
Two on the nose?
Yeah, but well, he didn't name it Edison.
Yeah, but that's the thing of like, this is like, even Isaac Newton was a little bit of a whack job about some things.
A little bit?
A little bit? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to the dead. Shush. I know you knew him, Skep, but good lord.
You knew him as well as I.
Yeah, you could smell him before he got there. You know, that was the thing.
All that human urine.
Isaac,
Anyway,
would it really have hurt
liked
you
the
so
ball
much just to hit the wash basin in between all of your ranting about the
it's like,
spiritual mathematics?
Let me throw the Lysol at you.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, he's nothing new. Everybody keeps treating him like he's something new and different. And maybe to them they are, but it's like, then they talk about history and it's like, well, you didn't actually pay attention to history if you think Elon's a new thing. Or like Trump had to declare bankruptcy. Businesses had to declare bankruptcy, honey. That doesn't mean he lost money.
Has he ever declared? Did he ever declare personal bankruptcy? Or
No. It was
I don't know.
It was his business. It was
Yeah,
his
well,
business.
that didn't even count.
Yeah, but that's the problem is people don't understand that.
Well, people are dumb.
Because people, especially
Quote me
people
on
who've
that.
never had that kind of money, don't understand that no real businessman puts their money into stuff, or at least most of their money, or at least a large portion of their money into things. They get investors, and
that's a slogan.
Yeah.
It's not really a fact, but I understand the sentiment behind it. Because
But that's the thing of like, but that's the thing though, is that people don't understand. He's nothing new. He will have his. I'm hoping he doesn't have his Howard Hughes loses his fucking mind.
you mean you don't want him to like take over the top floor of a hotel in Vegas and then put blackout curtains and start
grow his thumbnail out
and grow his thumbnail out and then start storing his own urine in jars with the date labeled on each one.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't want him to go that path, but it's like, he's nothing new. I don't want him. It's that same thing with the president. I don't want them to fail, but at the same time, I'm getting tired of the vitriol from everybody, from the people who hate Musk, to the people who love Musk. I'm getting tired of the vitriol going either direction of, he is the greatest thing since humanity.
Well, be careful.
Scum of the earth.
Be careful about making anybody into a hero.
Oh, I know. But that's the thing of like, both sides do that. It's like with Trump. There's the side that he's the Satan incarnate and he's Jesus come to save us. Like, I'm a filthy, dirty centrist. I'm a filthy, dirty centrist.
Found Jesus, check the feed.
No.
I thought you said a dirty, filthy citrus, and it's like, no, all citrus is good. I like oranges, tangerines.
I'm a filthy, dirty capitalist, and I'm a filthy, dirty centrist.
I feel like pineapple should be an honorary citrus, honestly.
You know why you check the feed?
I'm afraid of where this is going. No, why?
Because you'll find they're always made of clay.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
By the way, Serenity, aren't we the same generation? Aren't we both Gen X?
No, honey, I'm a millennial.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My generation doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Being Gen X is pretty awesome, actually.
I'm
better than being a boomer.
I drank from the hose.
I'm an elder millennial, so I did a lot of the same thing that Gen Xers did.
I'm an elder Gen X. So let's see. I want to show you.
More like a boomer.
I'm going to show you. I'm very boomer adjacent. So let me.
Blue-eyed Scream just said he is autistic. Talking about Elon.
Are we talking about Elon or me? Jesus.
I was going to say, what about me?
I don't think I'm on the. I'm on lots of spectrums, but I kind of feel like. I like sort of the litmus test more than the spectrum. I don't think we all get to pretend to be just a little bit something, so we're all special magical creatures. It's like, no, you either got a problem or you don't. I'm very black or white on stuff.
I have dyslexia. Everybody keeps trying to pigeonhole me into that whole bull crap of you're on the spectrum. I have dyslexia. I'm not. I know how to deal with it. It doesn't bother me. Do not put me on that spectrum or I will slap you into a new one.
I might need your patience from time to time, but I don't need your pity. Just, leave me the hell alone. So let me show you a funny video that didn't get shown last week. At least I like it. Can we talk about all these businesses? And I always say I have it filed under hustle. I kind of like hustle from people who are in businesses. We've seen these guys before, but I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Oh no.
Hey, speak English?
No.
You speak English?
Yes. Of course we speak English.
Oh, the sign
The
guy.
best English. Everybody knows that.
Right now on our website, we've got a fantastic deal, really fantastic. You buy any 2 neon signs, you get 50% off each one.
And that's huge. That's a steal.
Yeah, but here's the thing, it's a limited time deal, it won't last long, so go now, grab yours before it's gone.
You won't regret it.
That's a beautiful hustle. I love it.
That is great. He's trying to do a Trump imitation, and it's so bad it almost doesn't.
Still works. I like it.
It's great. It just filled me with warmth. I want.
Hey, for a
I wanna give
30-second
those guys
ad, that's
business.
awesome. That's like a
Yeah, I
very
wanna give those
effective
guys
30-second ad.
business.
And by the way, the movie Lucy that they showed that clip from the beginning is pretty good. It's not.
Oh yeah.
What's
That's
that
so good.
French Luc Besson?
Luc
Besson? Yeah. It's not his best work, but it's actually, I
No.
think, an underrated movie. It's a decent movie.
What, Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucy's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's
a romp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a high.
It's not a deep
massive
thinking
thinker.
movie, but it's a good
But
movie.
It's a good action film, and
Not
Scarlett Johansson.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's a good action actress.
Yes, she is.
And God, who is the guy with the amazing voice who always does a good job? The old black guy who's in the movie. Why can I not
Morgan
remember? his name?
Freeman?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's
Morgan
awesome.
Freeman.
He's always awesome.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, I didn't say anything that was
That's
wrong. I
right.
mean, he is awesome, right? And he is an old
awesome.
guy, and he is black, so it's not.
He's
it's
God.
true.
He's God.
Or am I supposed to
Yeah.
pretend that I don't see his skin color? I don't care about it, but I do see it. But no, I don't think he ever gives a bad performance. He's
doesn't, yeah.
incredibly reliable. If I was an executive in Hollywood and somebody said, we're going to make a movie, who's in it? Okay, before I even hear what the pitch is, who's in
Morgan
it? And they say
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's in it. I go,
I
yeah,
don't care
we're
about the
Done.
script.
we're good.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
done.
Because this is shit he wouldn't even allow himself to be in it. Yeah.
Well, little
Yeah,
Luc,
exactly.
Luc Besson trivia.
Yeah.
He's the guy who wrote Leon the Professional, and La Femme Nikita.
Oh, I didn't know that he did Nikita.
He was a writer. Yep.
Huh.
The original La Femme Nikita, not.
I mean, Transporter 3 is a huge smoking pile of shit, but
Yes.
most of his stuff is at least decent. He's
Well,
a good director.
Oh yeah, no. He's done some localization with some stuff that whatever they've tried to do in the West, like that dog shit La Femme, the newer La Femme Nikita TV show, which
Was
was
that the one with
absolutely
Maggie
terrible.
Q or something? Or
Yeah, where the skinny little twig, who I'm supposed to believe she's taking out 200-pound plus dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
honey, sure. The original La Femme Nikita from the 90s was better. If you're going to go for a La Femme Nikita TV show, anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we've tanged.
No, it's okay. We talked
I
about
love I love the
Lemon.
fact you were like before the show started. You were like, we may have a lull. No, not with me and Scap. No.
No, well, actually, the thing was when you were both gone, which was a thing.
Yeah,
I started
I had-
just burning through the
characteristically.
spreadsheet without any back and forth.
I usually don't have problems anymore. We had a dog run off. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I understand the dog problems.
I'm just trying to think, is there anything that we should cover? I always try to cover the thing that's in the thumbnail. Because it
Did you
just, I
cover-
feel like I'm duty bound to show the thing that's in the thumbnail.
What was that? I missed that part. What was that?
Yeah, that was this, I believe. So 1.9 billion year old bedrock will soon house the world's first permanent nuclear waste site. So in Finland, they're looking at, the thing about nuclear waste is it lasts for a really long time. And you don't want it ending up in sort of the biological systems of things up on the surface. If you can find a piece of rock that hasn't really had much going on for billions of years, you can go, this might be a stable place to put our nuclear waste. How about we just put it way down there, surrounded by basalt? This the thing is with nuclear waste, you have to do something with it, right? And so this is perfectly good. Now there are a bunch of different ways you can deal with nuclear waste. One of my favorites is a method that the French use, which is they essentially fuse it. They reduce it down to super high, highly radioactive material, the really nasty stuff. They condense it down so it's just as evil and terrible as it could possibly be. And then they essentially encase it in glass. And the point is that glass will dissolve in water, but very, very slowly. So even if water does find its way down there 100,000 years from now, it won't just dissolve and then end up in the water table and then end up in the biosphere where we don't want it. So what the French would do is they would drill big old holes in the side of these walls, and they would insert those glass cylinders into the holes and then cap them. But you're already off to a good start just finding a deep, dark hole that's very, very stable and then shoving the stuff down there. Because Europe has got a whole bunch of nuclear waste, and the fact that they don't have a permanent place to put it yet seems kind of shameful. It's just been sitting around in containers for a long time, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. So meanwhile, back in the US, I was talking, I think last week, about the idea of just generating nuclear power by putting the generator down in a deep, dark hole. Well, similarly speaking, this is a company that's just saying, oh, you're going to build microreactors and things. We're going to come up with a standard container you can just shove these things in, and then we're just going to dig a very, very, very deep hole and just throw it down there. And this is much deeper than this cave that they're talking about in Finland. They're talking about putting this stuff down a long, long, long way where it really can't hurt anybody. That's a good place to have radioactivity, is like down, way down into the lithosphere.
Below the aquifer?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they're talking about basically putting this stuff way, way down. So Deep Isolation Nuclear has selected for Scaled Up Ready, which is an ARPA-E's latest initiative to accelerate technologies toward market adoption, and committed up to $40 million to support 2 products, including Deep Isolation Project. So they're working with Westinghouse and people making microreactors to come up with a way to stick all the evil stuff in a capsule and then just shove it in a deep, dark hole. And then we just go, okay, I guess we're done with that. This should honestly work. There's really no reason why it shouldn't. It's just the hole has to be deep enough. Sorry?
Yep. At least we get Mr. Fusion.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't like to say nice things about the French, but I think the nuclear waste glassification thing that the French did is kind of genius.
Yeah.
And I still don't know of anything that's better than that. To my mind, that's the thing. And by putting it in basalt, the heat from the breakdown of the high-grade nuclear waste, it acts as a huge heat sink for it.
It's exactly what basalt would do.
Well, because otherwise this stuff would basically heat and expand and contract and crack, and you don't want more surface area on the glass. So, yeah, so a lot of things involve deep holes in the ground. Let's see. So there's this Intel thing.
They keep trying to bring nuclear power plants. They want to do SMRs.
Economically, they don't work all that well. That's the thing. SMRs are really good for sort of edge cases, but I'm not sure they're the solution to the big problem.
Well, they're not the solution, but my state is low populated enough, and because we do have FBI and CIA training facilities here, I think they're at least good as a backup, kind of oh shit, everything's gone to fucking crap. Guard the tiny nuclear facility. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I think because we're also, my state's less than 2 million people, so if it's just for us, I think I just want nuclear. I want Fallout. I want, before the bombs dropped in Fallout, I want the tiny little nuclear things and all the fucking cars. I want the tiny little nuclear power plants in neighborhoods. What I want. Damn it. I want FTL as well.
You want something tiny? Did I hear tiny?
I hear tiny. Yes, I've seen this. And then everybody in the comments was bitching about it being out of tune.
It's this little tiny, tiny violin. 1/32 scale violin You know how hard it would be to play like this on that?
God bless that man.
Those movements that he's making with his left hand he's moving his fingers probably on the order of a millimeter or less to make some of those moves on that fretboard, on that fingerboard.
Yep. If a pistol shrimp saw this, he'd be like, man, that guy's claws are fast.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I still am not absolutely sure he was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a trick.
Maybe
the rest of the orchestra and see if some one of the violinists was actually playing all that.
Yeah. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the thing from last week, the Germans and their sausages. I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good thing. Well, let's see. I think we've done 2 hours, haven't we?
A little bit over, yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
But over.
I'm officially tired. So, turn it into depleted uranium, solved. And then we use the A10 delivery service to deal with the depleted uranium. Yeah.
Yup.
No, the depleted uranium is right. What you do is you take all the nasty stuff out of the depleted uranium. You give the depleted uranium to the warthog, and then you take all the really nasty shit, turn it into glass, and shove it into a hole in a basalt wall. We can totally manage nuclear waste. People who act like it's an unsolvable problem, they suffer from a lack of imagination.
Well, they just want an easy solution. They want nuclear to go away.
What they want is UBI and subsistence level agrarian economy.
Right.
And
never going to happen.
Yeah. And you're not the boss of me, and I don't have to shave my legs if I don't want to. And
UBI is
deodorant is optional. Yeah.
UBI is going to happen.
I really hate hippies. I got to tell you.
I'm just going to tell you that jobs are going to dry up. I think one generation. I think it will happen in one generation. And you will have to have general, basically an income for people to have, because most people they will not have a way of earning.
Well, if people don't earn money, they're not going to have any money to buy the products that are being made by the AI. So something clearly has to be solved, and you better solve your immigration problem before you start AUBI, because otherwise you better just offer it to the entire world, and that is not going to work.
That's what will happen.
That's not going to happen in one generation.
That will happen.
There's no way we can give UBI to the whole world in one generation. Not the whole world. You could maybe do it for a small country like Sweden or Finland or whatever, but with uncontrolled immigration, you can't just start handing out checks to people.
There were 63 years between the first flight at Kitty Hawk and landing.
Well,
I won't be here to tell you I told you so.
Well, you know what Scott Adams said about analogies.
I'm in heaven telling you that I told you.
You know what Scott Adams used to say about analogies.
I'm not thinking by analogy. I'm not thinking by analogy at all. I'm thinking about trends that are real and happening now.
Yeah.
And the only thing that might scotch my prediction is when it will happen. This will happen.
Oh, I only said within a generation it's not going to happen. I have no idea what the world's going to look like in 100 years. We could all be dead. I don't know.
But it's just that I've learned in my life to never think that life will not come at you faster than you think it will. It always comes at you fast.
Yeah.
I will invade the internet, and then I will go into a room and I will haunt everyone.
Yeah, maybe the aliens will show up.
I will control the Roomba.
Yeah.
I will get that Roomba
No aliens
onto
are
the
ever.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to let Simone do her thing.
No aliens are ever going to show up.
Yep.
Invade the Roomba. We'll get on a spaceship, and then go.
And then there's this. I'm going to kill the sound. But somebody wrapped this Corvette with SpongeBob and Patrick. I kind of like it when they do that. It's not quite as good as the Greta Thunberg car, but
Still good.
that's still good. All right. Well,
Pretty cool.
on that
Good night,
note,
everyone.
this has been your Mini Zoo for Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Zoo is closed. Good night.